Good afternoon, I'm David Wendell with BushcraftOnFire, and we welcome you to episode 8 of Almost Naked Into the Bush. Today we're going to be making a wilderness loom to show you how to weave blankets, how to weave even clothing, anything that you would need that you would weave. Before I do that, I want to talk to all my subscribers and viewers for just a moment. We do appreciate your subscriptions, we appreciate your views and your comments that you're leaving. We've had a big problem with YouTube. Apparently, we're growing faster than they like. And because of that, they are freezing our videos on us. This has happened twice where our views have gone from almost 1,000 a day down to 0 a day. It happened about 10 days ago and it happened again last night. So don't get discouraged. Keep leaving the comments up there. I can't always, apparently what happens is when I go out to answer a comment, it's saying that I'm spamming the channel because I'm trying to put the views up so high or something. We got 300 views in 18 hours on the last video we did, which was Traps Without Tools. 300 views in about 18 hours isn't bad, but I guess it's faster than they think we ought to be growing as a small channel. So if you would make sure when you're out there, rate the videos. I believe that the rating against the views has something to do with it as well, and if we're getting ratings from independent people, then that's going to help us to be able to stay online a little more. But no fear, that they unfreeze after about 24 hours, and we will get to the comments and answer them if you guys have comments that you've asked. So bear with us on that. We're going to try and straighten it out. There's no real way to get in touch with YouTube, and I understand this is a pretty common problem. Alright, so let's get on to today's excursion. What we're going to do is make a wilderness loom. Now, a lot of people notice that I film in the same place. This is my backyard. We have 80 acres of premium wilderness right here, so there's no need for me really to go out, 5-6 miles in the car and film. Sometimes we do go out on location, and that's good too. But bear with us. We live this lifestyle, so it's something that we want to do for you, and it makes it easier if we can do it here at our home, so why not do it since we live right in the bush. Well, let's get on to making that wilderness loom. What I'm doing here is I am just sawing through a stick right now. I've got about 8 or 9 sticks that I'm going to be using on this project, and they need to be cut to length. So I'm just going through with my rock here, and I'm sawing through to get this stick. Once we get it to a certain length, we can just see what we do to saw this is just bend all around it. Then we can just break it off, and we've got a nice 2 sticks here. Now I've cut this off, and what I'm doing is just making a point. We're going to actually drive these stakes into the ground. It takes a little bit longer when you have primitive tools than when you have axes or something, but I've got that pretty good. What I'm going to do is bring it over here to my sanding block, and I'm going to sand it down a little bit, make a point on it, or a semi-point, enough so it will drive into the ground anyway. And there we go. Pretty good. Good enough to get into the ground, I believe. So I'm going to prepare the rest of the sticks, and once that we get all those sticks prepared, then we'll be back with you to set up the loom. What I'm doing is beginning to set up the loom. Now, a wilderness loom is really a 2-man project, so my son's going to be involved in this video as well. But right now I'm just getting these stakes set up. Once we get them set up, we'll explain to you how we set them up and why we set them up the way we did. We're going to make a blanket today that is about 2.5 to 3 foot wide, and it's going to be about 3 foot long just for the necessity of keeping the video short. We have 10 minutes to do this. So, but you can just keep moving it out. You can make it 10, 15, 20 foot wide if you want, long if you want. So I'm going to keep pounding these stakes. The next stake that I'm going to do is a stake about 2.5 to 3 foot away from that one, and that's going to give me the width of my loom. So let me get that one in, and we'll be right back with you. Well, what I've done is I've set up 5 stakes into the ground, and these stakes are going to hold our warps or our wefts. I don't know which one, the one that goes that way. And we're going to use this stick here to go ahead and tie onto here to use for our loom that we can raise up and down. Now, one of the things that I'm going to do in this video, I'm going to cheat just a little bit. I'm going to need approximately 100 foot of cordage. Well, we showed you how to make cordage the other day. It takes a lot of time to make 100 foot of cordage, so for this video I'm going to use some jute sisal twine, and this is just small sisal twine, nothing big. This is about as close to natural cordage as you can get out in the bush. So I'm going to use this instead of spending 2 or 3 hours to make 100 foot of cordage, and I hope you understand why. What we're going to do first is to go back to the back end here and tie up our rod that's going to hold the back of the wefts in place. What I'm doing here is I'm just tying up this rod that's going to hold the warps. And you've got the warps that are the long ones, the weavers that go in and out of them are the wefts. I'm just throwing a clove hitch around this. I guess I'm going to have to tie it the other way. And this clove hitch is going to allow me to, well, let's just do it around this stick. Doesn't really matter where we do it. I'm going to tie a clove hitch right there. Bring this stick around. This isn't any sort of formal lashing, doesn't have to be tight. Just has to hold that stick in place, as you'll see in a few minutes. And so I'm just throwing a simple square knot in here. Get this job done quick and dirty. What I'm doing now is I'm just tying a knot around this upright piece, and I'm going to run this cordage over and around that horizontal bar that we just threw in there. Then we're going to come back and tie it off to this piece right here. So let's run one around there and show you what we're doing. Now, to make this a little easier, as I said, this is a 2-person job, so I'm going to have my son Steven help me out with this. What I'm going to do is just run the cordage over. He's going to throw it over top and toss it back to me. When I get it back here, I'm going to leave a little bit of slack, and I'm just going to tie another simple knot right here. So let me cut this off, and then we'll get a couple of these laid up and show you exactly how it sits. Alright, what we've done effectively here is to make a weaver, a weaving machine. You can see these 5 right here hold the stakes. It runs around that horizontal pole, then it comes back here. And what I'll do is I'll raise these up and lower them down as my son puts in some grasses.